Diablo IV Season 4 is here, and we are 9 hours in. We do still have some questions. The big one, will these changes actually make Diablo 4 into the game we have all wanted? One that we can go from season to season without getting bored, and that will keep us playing without stop. I'm not so sure, but hang tight because there's a lot of really neat changes, from the way the loot system works to the helltides and all of the new things that came with that, to even the Iron Wolves becoming more involved in this game. So stay tuned. Where are we at? So we spent 9 hours of gameplay, got to level 40. I was playing a sorcerer, and Giarc was playing a necromancer. And we didn't go straight into how fast can we level up. Our goal was to be able to play around a little bit, experience some of the storyline, and to really understand what is changing in the game, not necessarily just see how far we were able to move through the game. All right, everybody, let's get started with itemization. That by far is the biggest change within the game. Do I love it? I haven't quite gotten far enough into it in order to be able to say one way or another. First and foremost, they have reduced the number of equipment that are going to drop during gameplay. This is a good thing. That means there's less to have to sort through and deal with. It also means we have to warp back to town quite a bit less to unload, which is fabulous. This means we can just play our game and have a lot less stopping points. Remember that being kind of a pain in the butt in Diablo 3, where I felt like I was going through a rift and every few minutes I had to turn around and go back to town to unload. And when I noticed that happening in Diablo 4, I was like, oh, can't they fix this? So that is a really, really nice adjustment. You still have to go back. It's not like it's gone completely, but it's much, much better. Keeping in mind, we're still on tiers 1 and 2. As we start moving into tiers 3 and 4, it'll be interesting how that shifts. They have reduced the number of affixes, adjustments that are made, or special boosts per piece of equipment for the different items. So rare items have 2 now instead of 3, and legendary have 3 instead of 4. That was an interesting adjustment, not knowing going into it. So here I am going, oh, this is a piece of junk, and tossing it and tossing it and tossing it and going, oh, whoops, that was nuts. I probably shouldn't have tossed that. Oops. So that was interesting. The nice thing about it, however, it does make going through them a lot faster and easier to quickly make decisions on what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep, because there are certain things I'm just not going to need for my build. Those can go pretty fast and easily off to the blacksmith for getting rid of. Let's just go with getting rid of, since I can't come up with the word at the moment. The affixes do seem to be more powerful, which is interesting. As I was switching out equipment, as you go through the gameplay, especially in the early levels, you'll notice that you're flipping out equipment very, very quickly. But I noticed a big difference as I was shifting through equipment. I would get stronger or weaker. Those affixes made a large difference on my build. So that I thought was really interesting for as you get stronger, and especially towards the end game when you really have to fine tune your build in order to be able to make sure that you're getting the best build possible to fight those top tier battles. Really watching those, we're not going to have quite as much leeway to have 1 or 2 affixes that are just okay, well, I guess I'll swap that one out. It's not going to be that big of a deal if we don't have that exact right one. We also have these really cool things called tempering manuals. Ooh, tempering manuals. Okay, so tempering manuals you get while you're roundabouts. We got a lot of them while we were doing the helltides, beating up bad guys and all the things. As you get them into your inventory, you read them, and then it becomes available as something that you can use to go back to the blacksmith and temper your equipment, which means that you get to add a variety of options that are on this manual. You get, 5 or 6 different affix options. And it's kind of like what we used to do at the occultist, where you could go and you got a a group of different choices to try and roll 4 different skills for your piece of equipment, but this time it's a really reduced to like those 5 or 6, and you only roll between those. But the downside of it is you get a limited number of rolls or re-rolls on that particular piece of equipment. So hopefully you get what you want on that piece of equipment as you're working with the blacksmith. The interesting note is that it's now at the blacksmith and not the occultist. I don't know if that was done purely just to make it very clear that this is a different system or what that was or why that was done, but they did make that shift. Another thing to note with the items is that we're still on tiers 1 and 2. As we get into worlds tiers 3 and 4, we're going to find some new things that are happening. There are going to be new types of equipment that are dropping, and we're going to have some additional itemization things to experience. So we'll do another video and more advanced video on all of this at that time. But we're giving this to you as fast as we possibly can. All right, let's move on to helltides. Helltides are a major factor in the game. For us, the biggest thing is that now that they're available in tiers 1 and 2, they were a great way to level up, even though we didn't know what we were doing through most of it. There is a new gauge at the top of the screen that, actually there's 2 new things at the top of the screen. So you get your regular shards, and then there's a bigger bubble that you get, or a bottle it looks like almost, and then there's a gauge. A second bubble essentially are resources that you get that allow you to summon bigger, better monsters throughout the helltide, which is great when you're trying to level up, assuming that you are ready to fight those battles. Just, yeah, we got one that was a little stronger than we were. Although we survived it, we did run away. Full disclosure, we ran rather than losing all of our hard work. So that was interesting. There's also that gauge that the more you fill up, it seems like the more monsters you get, which allows you to, level up more, which is great. There's a lot of, there's a new monster that jumps out of the ground.
Ready yet.
And spits more monsters at you. He's kind of annoying but fun. Now, one of the big changes they made with the helltides is that they changed all the chests to be 100 shards, and they took away all of the customization around which, like, they used to be like, this is an armor chest, and this is a weapons chest, and this is a jewelry chest. Well, they took all of that away. Now they're all mystery chests, and they only take 100. I have thoughts. I'm not sure I have a full opinion, but I have thoughts on it. On one hand, I really liked being able to, like, okay, I really need this so I can go into the helltide, fight my monsters, go get what I need, and then get the hell out. That being said, it is kind of nice to be able to go in and just focus on killing the monsters, doing all the things, and then run around and get my chests at the last minute. I noticed, and I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but I noticed at the very beginning of the helltide, the chests don't show up on the map. A little ways in, about 15-20 minutes in, all of a sudden you could start seeing them, but you had to be somewhat in the region in order to see where the chests were. I did find that a little bit like, just show me where the damn chests are so I can kind of plan out my helltide experience. It makes life a lot easier. It all depends on your gameplay experience. Like I don't like a lot of like hunting around in mystery around where to find the stupid chest. Do I have a full firm opinion? Not necessarily, not yet. I might change my opinion. I fully hold by right to change my opinion as we go. Another thing that has changed, and this one has me very on the fence, they have rearranged the cities. Kyovashad, I loved Kyovashad. It was a big city, but I didn't mind running around that one. I don't know why, but that one, I really liked the layout. I liked their little stores, all the things, and now they're all like crammed into one area. And this beautiful shop that the occultist had is now sitting empty. Okay. And then there was another city, and I don't even remember which one it was. We walked into it, and Giarc and I looked at each other. We were like, where the hell are we? Like, we literally couldn't figure out which city we were in because they had moved everything so much that we were literally on another part, had to go to another part of the city that we probably had never been to. And this whole area that they had, like, down below, a little further down, where they had all of the stuff, is sitting empty. And it's really sad. Is this just my resistance to change? Maybe. Maybe not. I didn't mind so much running around the cities. Other things that are new in the game, the Iron Wolves. That's a kind of a fun storyline. It's very similar to some of the other events that they've had where they have a little mini storyline and then there's a special event that goes along with it where you can earn additional rewards. So in this case, it is in the helltides. You go to the helltides, you earn renown with the Iron Wolves by killing a lot of monsters and doing some side quests for them. And then you go back to this person in the Iron Wolf camp and you talk to them and you get the screen full of things that as you gain renown, you earn additional rewards. Nothing new really from a mechanics standpoint, but it is new. And we actually, some of the stuff that we've gotten was early game, very, very nice. If you waited real long, however, and you, like, say you came back to do this at level 60, the equipment's not going to be worth your while. So if you're going to do it early, make use of the equipment, and it'll really be worth your while to do it. Potions. Now this is something they may have put out online. I haven't found it yet. They have a new potion upgrade, so to speak. They now have rare potions, where all of our potions up to this point have had a standard, here is something that it does, something cool like, boosts our attack power, boosts our attack speed, blah, 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 blah. And then it gives you 5% increased experience for 30 minutes. Okay, now they have rare potions, and rare potions let you have 6% experience for 30 minutes. 6. What else do we have? Ooh, the premium season battle pass. Okay, this surprised me. I mentioned in my previous video that I don't get gooey about cosmetics. They've proven me wrong! Oh my god! Okay, guys, oh my lord. These are not just off-brand, but they're pretty. Like, pretty. I have to buy the premium battle pass. They are so pretty. Because the entire seasonal battle pass has absolutely beautiful equipment, outfits. I mean, they have flowers on them, people. I can't even, like, it took me so by surprise that I went. And then I turned to Giarc and told him that I was buying it, and he went, of course you are. Of course you are. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I will be decked out in flowers. Or at least my character will, because you're not going to catch me with flowers in my hair. Not anytime soon, at least. Someone will have to pay me money for that. Yeah. But I was I was pleasantly surprised to find some really, pretty items in there. Even Giarc liked them. Like, he was like, I wish I'd gotten a female character this time. I should have done that. And I was like, yeah, okay. Because the items are just really nice. All right, I'm done talking about that. Other than go check them out. That's all I've got for you, ladies and gents. It was a fun experience. I am really, really glad that we spent the day doing it. We are going to just thinking about our schedule for the week, we will probably be getting into tiers 3 and 4 over the weekend. So I'll have another update for you next week as to our thoughts and experiences. I do want to do a deeper dive into the itemization for you and also do a deeper dive into the helltides based on our own gameplay and what we're experiencing, what we like, what we don't like. But just overall thoughts. My overall thoughts. Do I think that this is going to save the game? The short answer, no. I think this is going to make the players who are devoted much happier. I think that a lot of these changes are going to bring a level of customization and reduced frustration to those of us who are very loyal to the brand. That being said, I don't know that it's enough to prevent the burnout of every season. We get about 6 weeks in and we get tired. Like, I'm not a fan, and this is, this is personal preference, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. This is a personal preference thing. But I don't want to spend 14 hours grinding in the various different dungeons in order to level up my little glyphs so that my character can get more powerful. I just don't want to. And it's more than 14 hours. It's a lot more than 14 hours. But just looking at one of the seasonal requirements, I calculated it was going to take us about 14 hours to get it done, to just go through those. That's not exciting for me. Repeating the same thing over and over and over again is no longer exciting for me. I did that when I was in my 20s, and I did that with Final Fantasy, where I would sit and I would play, battles over and over and over again. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I don't feel like doing that. I have to go wash dishes. I have to feed my dog and take my dog for a walk. That doesn't fulfill me of sitting there doing that. I will play through a storyline. I will play through a leveling up of a character to a certain degree if it means I'm getting something really powerful at the end of it. But minor tweaks that are just like mind-numbingly slow, not really. It's not my thing. But that's just me. I know there are people out there that really, really enjoy that kind of a gameplay, and I think that's great for them. But for those of us who that isn't our game style, these changes are not going to save this game for us. So I do hope that Diablo IV chooses to expand their storyline sooner than later. I know that's a lot of work and a lot to ask of the developers, especially considering they roll out a whole new season every 3 months. I'm playing with a pen. And it takes a long time to develop storylines and all the things. So they have to have a team working on whatever expansion they're planning on doing, and how they choose to roll that out will be very, very interesting. But I do hope that comes soon and that it adds more to the story, the storyline of the game. Because right now, these seasons aren't going to sustain long-term players. I think they're going to get a resurge every 3 months. They'll see a resurge for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, and then there's going to be a sharp drop-off. And then it's going to resurge again and sharp drop-off. Is that going to be enough for people to, are people going to come into the game enough to buy enough premium content and enough battle passes to make the game sustainable for Blizzard? It's a really interesting question. I don't know. I don't know what their finances look like, and I'm very curious. of, yeah, I'm very curious what they would have to say. So, I don't know. We'll see where that takes us. Blizzard, if you ever see this, I would love to do an interview with you and see what you got going on. Because the future of Diablo 4, I love the game. I really do. And I also recognize my attention span as a variety gamer in my early middle age. We'll say early middle age. I refuse to give out my age. All right. Diablo 4 fans, keep gaming. I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day. And please put your comments below, subscribe, and let us know, how are you liking Season 4? Love it? Hate it? What are your thoughts about the new itemization system? Please let us know. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. And also, follow us on social. We'd love to see you. Happy gaming!